Mickschl. Hello, everyone. I'm going to have trouble with this word. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Housekeepers podcast. Dare I say, the cleanest hour in podcasting. I'm so excited. I always say that. Somebody just said to me recently, they said, every time you're on the show, you say you're excited. You know what? It's because I am excited every single time.
Well, good.
I have the greatest guests. I mean, what are you going to do, right?
Yeah.
And with me today, Miss Shannon Mickschl. Did I say it right?
Yep, Mickschl.
Mitchell. It's a weird. There seems like there's phonetically, I want to add more vowels.
Well, I can't imagine why. There's only one in there.
That's what I mean. It isn't there. So it makes it a little bit challenging for me, but we'll get through it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being on the show. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
I'm so excited to talk to you because as we talked before,
we did,
and you just looking at where, all the things that you've done and where you came from, it's just so fun to even just get the idea or get the opportunity to dive deep and you go, how the heck did this happen?
Yeah. and this is where I grew up. So
yeah, I know. And that's what's so fun about it. So I like to start at the beginning.
Okay.
If you don't mind. Let's start all the way back at the beginning.
Absolutely.
You're in Wisconsin.
I am.
Born and raised?
Yeah. In Nakusa.
So where you live now, you were born there and you live there?
Yep.
I have a friend, Sandy, who lives in the house that she was raised in.
I live in my grandparents' house.
Oh, there you go. There you go. So it's that same thing. Like she's never lived anywhere else. Mm-hmm. Her family now lives there. It's pretty a unique thing. I've never really heard of that before.
Yep.
That's pretty awesome. So you grew up in Wisconsin. What was that like?
Cold.
Well,
yeah, it's getting nicer now.
Yeah.
I grew up in a town that has 2,000 people in it.
Very small.
Yes, very small. My graduating high school class was under 100.
Wow.
Yep. My kids went to school there as well.
Do you have any brothers, sisters?
I have one of each.
Are you in the middle?
I am the oldest.
Oh, the oldest. Well, look at you.
Mm-hmm.
What did your mom and dad do as you grew up?
My mom, she worked at the town hall in Rome here for quite a while. My dad just retired and he was in the paper mill his entire life.
Really?
Yep.
Doing what in the paper mill? What was his job?
Beater room engineer.
I have no idea what that was. And I don't even know why I asked. Because you could have said anything and I really wouldn't have. Should have just nodded. Oh, the beater room.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's good. Yep. Of course, it's a beater room.
Yeah. What he did mostly was mix colors of paper.
I would not have gotten that from the title beater room.
They beat all the paper together and make colors and put it all in there.
Are you saying BEAD or BEAT?
Beat. Yep.
All right.
Yep.
So what was it like growing up in little small town Wisconsin?
It's very nice actually growing up in a small town. I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Everybody kind of knows everybody.
Yeah. When you were a kid, and I'm not guessing your age, I just want to ask, like, was it the 70s, the 80s? Like, what was it?
80s and 90s.
Oh yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. So you had a probably pretty similar childhood to me then, because I was 70s, but my earliest memory is like 78. So it's close enough to the 80s.
Yeah.
And so what did you do as a kid? Like, did you play sports?
I was very sports. Basketball, softball, volleyball.
Yeah, you just kind of followed the winter circuit, right?
I
so
did,
this season ends and the next one starts and the next one begins.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't play ice hockey?
No, I didn't. Mm-mm.
Oh,
no, we didn't have a school team for that. Too small.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Thinking Wisconsin, I'm thinking always ice hockey, football.
Yeah.
You have to be a Packers fan, I imagine.
Nope. Not football. I know.
Have you ever heard of a guy named Brett Favre?
Yes, I have.
How could you not be a Packers fan?
I know. Nope, I don't watch a whole lot of football.
And so did you have any sport that you played the most, that you liked the most?
Basketball.
Oh yeah, you like that one the most?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So one sport I was never we grew up playing like horse or pig, or if we got really ambitious, we played Mississippi.
Oh, yeah. That takes a little longer.
It takes a little longer if you have more time on the court,
Yeah.
But I never learned how to like actually play the game of basketball. I never played on a team. I've never.
Yeah. No, that was the most fun because it was the most. I had a really great team when I was in high school. So.
Yeah, that's really great. Did you work at all when you were in high school? Did you get a first job?
I did. During high school, I had a summer job that was actually at a golf course.
Surprise.
Uh-huh.
What did you do at the golf course?
I mowed bunkers.
Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How did you get a job? How did you get a job mowing bunkers?
My mom, she worked at the town hall, knew some of the people that worked at the golf course, and yeah.
How old were you?
16.
I was just writing this morning. I'm doing a little reminiscent project, and I was writing about one of my first jobs was working at a convenience store when I was 15, and I had gotten in trouble this winter before because me and a friend were throwing snowballs at cars, and when you're 15, and actually I was 14 when that happened, because then that winter I was 14, and we got into a little bit of trouble throwing snowballs, and this lady at a store came out of a store and like was really mad at us and told us to knock it off. And my friend, not only did we not knock it off, but then he started throwing snowballs not at her, but at the store.
Oh,
which like really kind of looked like it was at her.
Mm-hmm.
And so fast forward, 4 or 5 months. Now I'm 15. I just turned 15. And so where I'm from Vermont, you can start working. And at 15, you can get a job. And I end up getting a job. My first job was cleaning the high school. But before that, I was looking for a job. So I'm going to all these stores and restaurants and gas stations, just knocking on doors. And wouldn't you know it, I go to that store and the lady recognizes me. I did not recognize her. She's like, "Weren't you one of those kids who were throwing snowballs at me?" I was like, "Oh, not me."
No, I didn't do that.
But it's it's always it's an interesting thing how you get your first job. Either someone, or I know a lot of people who just where I grew up. There was like one main drag that had like fast food restaurants on it and gas stations and department stores. And so I know all kinds of stories of my friends' parents dropping them off on one end and saying, "Don't call home until you have a job," and you literally just, you're 16 and you're walking from McDonald's to Wendy's to Burger King to, "Are you hiring? Fill out the application. Are you hiring? Fill out the application."
Yeah, that's not possible to do here. We don't have we have a main drag in Nakusa, but there's not a whole lot on it.
Yeah. It's fun. It's fun to just that whole reminisce. It's not fun when you're going through it. It's absolutely terrifying.
Right.
Going for your first job interview. Oh, okay. I mean, super hard. And so what'd you do after high school?
After high school, I did try to go to college for a minute and hated it. So I didn't do that.
It's not for everybody.
I did go back eventually, but at first it was not for me. Then I got a job.
Don't gloss over that. So it wasn't for you, but then you went back.
I did.
What does that mean?
I went back and I got 2 different degrees in hospitality.
Good for you.
Yeah.
So why didn't it work the first time? Was it the school?
I think it was a little bit of just, I didn't want to at the time, and I just wanted a break. And yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. It's so funny because I'm a high school dropout, so I got one on you. How about that? I know other things to brag about. That's right. Uh, but but um, what I want to say is that you never realize how important education is until you don't have one,
Hmm.
right? And then for me, it was 8 years later, 8 years after I graduated high school. I'm like, this sucks not
Uh-huh.
having anything. This is not knowing stuff is terrible.
Yeah, it was 7 years later when I went back.
Yeah. See, so we're in the
Hmm.
same boat. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, I did things very backwards.
Me too.
Yeah,
I
I had
feel I
kids,
probably
then I
still
went to
am.
school, then I got married.
Oh, good for
Yeah.
you. So you start college, it doesn't go well for you. So what's
Mhm.
your first official
I
real
got
adult
a job
job?
as a housekeeper at a hotel.
That was your first adult job, like
Yep.
40 hours a week.
Yep.
What
Hmm.
hotel was it? Can you
It was
say?
Hotel Mead in Wisconsin Rapids, which is about 15 minutes from Nakusa.
Oh, so I don't know what Hotel Mead is. So I was
Yeah.
thinking you're like like a Hilton or
Nope.
a no, just like a private.
Yep. Hmm.
Very cool. What'd you do as a housekeeper?
As a housekeeper. Yep.
So what was your first job as a housekeeper? Just cleaning
Just
rooms?
cleaning rooms. Yep.
Yeah. Did you ever become like a lead or an inspector?
Not there. I didn't. Nope. And I
Hmm.
was there for 7 years.
And you were just doing the housekeeping thing?
Yep. Hmm.
Being an inspector, I think we might have even talked about this before too, because I started, well, my first job was cleaning, the high school, but then I got a job cleaning condos. And I remember they asked me if I wanted to be an inspector, and
Yep.
I thought that was going to be the greatest job in the universe.
Uh
I was
huh.
like, yes, like you get a clipboard and you get a pen, you get to drive
Yeah.
around. What I didn't know was everything you found wrong, you had to fix. I'm like,
Fix.
this is bull. All of a sudden, all I was doing was cleaning up after everybody else. I was like,
Uh-huh.
I thought I was done cleaning. Nope,
No, you're not. You get
nope.
to fix it all.
You just get to fix it.
Yeah.
Hmm. Well, that's good. So you did that for 6 years, you said?
7.
7.
Yep. And
7.
then my manager went and she left and opened up a brand new hotel. She went and opened up a Holiday Inn.
Oh, very cool.
And took me with her as her assistant. So then I was the assistant housekeeping manager there and the laundry manager, and I actually was the water park manager as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of those hotels that had started to put in water parks, and now
Yep.
there's,
Hmm.
it's almost like you can have a petting zoo, and they
Yeah,
become
kind of.
this all in. It's almost like a vacation spot in itself, and it's still,
Yeah.
a hotel at the end of the day
Yeah.
with all these amenities. When you were at your first job and you're there for
Hmm.
7 years, and
Yep.
then your manager takes you with her,
Hmm.
did they have a management training program at all? Did they?
No.
So how were you showing any signs that you were able to lead, or you had any desire? You must have been.
Yeah, we had talked about it quite a bit.
Yeah. And the
Yep.
only thing holding you back was her, right? Because she had the position, and
Yeah.
you either had to leave or she had to leave, right?
Right. Yep. Hmm.
I find that a lot of people are in that position where they, would love to have an opportunity to be in charge, but there's no opportunity.
Right.
What are you going to
Hmm.
do?
Yep.
And then she says, hey, I have this amazing job opportunity,
Yep.
and I can get you in as an assistant.
Yep.
Does the
Mhm.
Holiday Inn have a management training program?
They
Did
do.
they put you? Oh, that's awesome.
Hmm.
So what was that like?
It was a lot. It was a lot of online little
What year
schooling.
is this? What year is
Yeah.
this? What year?
Huh?
What year? What year?
Oh
is
gosh. 2008.
Yeah, so in the 2000s. Yeah,
Yeah.
so okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I
Um,
first got promoted, we didn't have the internet, so
yeah. Yeah, a lot of it was
Yep.
online. Most of it was little informational videos and take this little test, and yeah.
Did you find it helpful, or was it just really more like a paperwork compliance kind
It
of
was a
thing?
paperwork compliant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Nothing was hands-on. Nothing was, yeah. It was a
Hmm.
lot of paperwork compliant.
Very interesting. Very interesting. I always wonder about, because I have a training company. It's what I do.
Yep.
I train housekeeping managers, and I don't know how you can just learn by just watching videos.
You don't.
Yeah,
I don't.
I know a lot of people who just provide videos. And I'm like, well,
Yeah.
I think this is better than just a video. I think a
Yeah.
video could
Mhm.
work to supplement, but
Yeah. I don't
yeah,
learn
that's
real
interesting.
well that way.
Did they have, and I'm just asking because it's going to be humorous to me, but did they have those videos where they were having like scenarios?
Yes. Yep, sure did.
Mary Jo comes in late.
Uh-huh.
The boss, Steve, gets mad at her. He
Yep.
does A, B, or C.
Uh-huh. Yep. And what do you do with? Yep. Uh-huh. Had lots
My
of those.
my favorite are the compliance videos where they do the situations where, you know, so and so is sharing company information,
Mm-hmm.
or
Yep.
you walked in on your boss
Yep.
being too close to a coworker.
Yep.
U, A, B, C.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
But again, when you're a big corporation, what can you do, right? You
Right.
can't have a one-on-one. I mean, you can.
You can, but
You probably should
yeah.
maybe do one-on-one coaching instead of
Right.
try to leave it up to a video.
Yeah.
The first place that I was ever exposed to that kind of thing was at Burger King.
Oh.
So I got a job at Burger King when I was like 16, and
Yeah.
they had you sit in the back and watch videos, and they would be
Yep.
like the same
Mhm.
kind of thing. It was VHS tapes though, so it
Right.
wasn't online at all. Yeah. So how long were you at Holiday Inn?
I was there about a year.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Short
Mhm.
time.
Yep.
Short
Mhm.
time. Then where'd you go?
I went, well, after that. Now, this is moving me back here,
Well, it's what we're doing.
15 years.
We're going back. We're doing
I
the
know.
This is your life.
I know.
Housekeepers podcast.
From there, I went to Hampton Inn for a while and was the executive housekeeper. And there I went to a Grand Lodge, which is part of Stony Creek Inn, which was a water park hotel, and was the executive housekeeper there. And I was there for about 3 years.
So it sounds like, if I may interject, it sounds like that year that you spent with your friend at the Holiday Inn. What's your friend's name? What's her first name?
Her name is Shar.
Char?
Shar.
S-H-A-R?
C-H-A-R, but yeah.
Okay, C-H. Shar. Okay. So that year that you spent with Shar really did it give you the skills?
Yeah.
The
a ton. Yep.
Experience, maybe even a little bit of confidence?
All of it.
Right. And so then you were able to, excuse me, take the next step, which was, I have to leave Shar because in order to get a management position. Do you remember is there any time or two that stands out where you were like, learned some really major things from Shar about management? I know that when I was an assistant manager, I'm not the best example because when I was an assistant manager, I thought my boss was an idiot. I thought everything that he did, I would judge everything,
Yeah.
Like he'd talk to somebody in public. I'd be like, I would never talk to them in public. He'd talk to someone in private. I'm like, I would never talk to somebody in private. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
He'd write somebody up or something. I would never write somebody up. He wouldn't. I would totally write somebody up.
Mm-hmm.
I Monday night quarterbacked him constantly. I really did. Were you that way or no?
No. No. She'd been doing this job before I even started with her. She'd been doing it for well over a decade.
Yeah, so she had it down.
Yeah, she knew what she was doing. There was
Mm.
I wasn't going to question her a whole lot. She knew what she was doing.
Yeah, and she was obviously the type of person who was quick to share everything. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. She taught me a lot.
It's really good too. I know so many people who are so scared to give information away that they end up not sharing enough, with their team. Everybody's always scared. If I teach you, then you're going to take my job.
Yeah, no, that's not
She
how it
didn't
works,
have that
though.
attitude.
No,
No, it's
not
not
at
really
all.
how it works. It's not how it works.
No.
Not always. I guess it could sometimes. I mean, that fear has probably come out of something
Right.
genuine. You know what? Actually, that did happen. I got hired as an assistant housekeeping manager. Come to think of it, And I didn't know I was getting hired as the assistant. I got hired as the manager, but I was
Ah,
told that I had to go through a little training program first.
a
And
management trainee.
yeah,
Yeah.
like acclimation kind of thing.
Yep.
And then, and I was new to long-term care too. So
Mm-hmm.
this is new to long-term care. And when I got there, I found out there was another assistant manager there.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "Oh, hey, how's it going? What are you
Yeah.
up to?" And he says, "Well, I'm just here. I'm actually going to be the manager." And I
Mm-hmm.
had to bite a hole in my lip because I'm like, "Wait a minute, I'm the manager."
Yeah.
And then we didn't see the person who hired us for like 2 weeks.
Oh,
But all I kept thinking was, because he was like running multiple buildings,
sure.
all I kept thinking was, game on. If this is a competition, who's going to be in charge and who isn't? I'm going to win this battle.
Right.
And I came in and one day, and the guy who hired me was there, and he goes, "Hey, so we're going to make you the manager starting today." I'm like, "Great." There's another guy here. He goes, "Yeah, we already let him go." Like, I
Oh,
didn't even see it coming. Like, I didn't even know that I was there in competition. And he
right.
started before
That's
me.
okay.
I know, brutal.
Yeah.
That guy probably still hates me.
Well, that's how it
I
goes sometimes.
I did nothing. I was
Right.
hired under the same pretense as he was.
That's very true.
Yeah. Actually, I had some people when I was there. It's like some nurses and stuff. They're like, "What do you do here?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm just the assistant manager." And they're like, "No, you're not. You're the manager. Don't lie. Don't lie." And I remember them saying that, and I was like, "What is it about me that they think that?" And then
Hmm.
then they gave me that. I don't know. I guess that's just I take charge of it. You said if I'm near your pocketbook, you gotta watch out for me because I'll start writing checks, paying bills. Like, I'll take charge. I don't care.
Yeah. Oh, good.
No, so that's really great that Char really took you under her wing and literally showed you
Yeah,
enough so that you could go on your own. Are you still in touch with her?
I am.
Nice. That's
Hmm.
really great.
Yep.
That's really great. So then you go from you're in Cedar Rapids.
I was at Grand Lodge was actually in Wausau. Um, and then I went from there to Healthcare Services Group.
There we go. Here's
There
the
we go.
connection. See,
Yep.
I knew it was coming. I knew it
Uh-huh.
was coming. That's the connection because I worked for Healthcare Services Group
Yep.
too. It's where I grew up. You know, it's the power lines of the kids, right? It's
Yep.
where you grew up. Yeah. So then that's when you actually went to long-term care. So
Yep.
you hadn't ever had experience in healthcare either.
I didn't.
Yeah. So same with me. I didn't have any experience with healthcare until I went to work for them.
Yep.
Yeah. And so what was that like? Shock and awe.
Yeah, a little bit of shock and awe. And I better
Had
get
you
it together.
had you ever even been in a nursing home before?
I had,
Oh,
yes.
I hadn't.
Uh-huh.
I hadn't. I mean, I really hadn't. So that's
Yep,
fun.
I'd been in a nursing home. The difference in cleaning one though was a little shocking.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a lot to take in my first week. Yeah.
Yeah. It's fun. I remember when I was first even heard about long-term care, like housekeeping and healthcare.
Hmm.
Well, there's two different kinds of housekeeping and healthcare. One where it's traditional commercial cleaning where it's all at night.
Right.
And that's what I thought all cleaning was at night. Cleaning schools at night, offices at night, banks at night, even doctors' offices at night, hospitals. There's a lot of overnight cleaning. I had no idea that there was a day job, a
Oh yeah.
housekeeping day job in healthcare. And,
Hmm.
and then I get into long-term care and I'm like, wow, this is going to be the sweetest gig in the world.
Right.
Nope, nope,
Nope.
nope, nope. Because it's funny, and I imagine you'd be able to see what I'm saying. Housekeeping has always been, probably always will be. It's a labor-intensive, sort
Yeah.
of thankless job. It's we're cleaning up after other people, but at least when you're a commercial cleaner, at the very least, you're only around other commercial cleaners.
Right.
right? You're not doing it while the bank's open.
Right.
You're not doing it in front of everybody who's there are also cleaners. So we're all at the same level.
Right.
And then you get into healthcare, and all
Yeah.
of a sudden the CEO is there.
Yep.
The nurses are there, like, and they're all watching you like a hawk and
Uh-huh.
judging you, because that's what we do, right?
Yep.
And that was for me one of the biggest challenges. What about you?
It was. And then you get state inspections, and then
Yeah.
you get
You pile on, certainly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I never went through an inspection when I cleaned banks. Not
No,
once.
no.
No. We
No.
cleaned a radio station. They never stopped by and saw how we were doing.
No, I didn't have to worry about, failing a state inspection where they're gonna, shut you down if it's not clean enough. Yeah, I didn't have to worry about that cleaning a hotel room. Yeah.
Me neither. Even when I was the inspector, there was no chance I was shutting you down.
No.
You know.
Yeah. Didn't have to worry about that.
How long were you with Healthcare Services Group?
3 years.
Which, by the way, I should put out there that I really liked working for Healthcare Services Group.
Yeah, I did too.
And they're a really great company. So if you're looking for, and they really will take, if you're a real good worker and you have interest in being in charge, they really do a good job at getting you that opportunity, because they're growing. I don't know what they're doing now, but when I was with them, they were growing by leaps and bounds. So it was
I'm not sure either anymore, but
yeah. But 3 years, that's a long time to be in healthcare.
Yep, it was.
Yeah. What was your favorite part about being in healthcare? Is there a favorite part?
I don't know.
How dare you?
I know. I'm sorry. That's why I'm not there anymore.
You're supposed to say the residents. No.
It is the residents, but that's actually part of why I left. It's hard.
It's hard.
It is. It takes a special person to work in long-term healthcare.
It certainly does.
And
in any position, housekeeping, nursing, it's like guerrilla warfare.
Yeah, it is. Which is a little bit of why I left. It's hard.
It's like the Wild West out there.
It is.
It's so weird to even think about it in that sense, because for you and I, we saw both sides. Like, we did cleaning for non-healthcare and then healthcare, and you went back to non-healthcare. So,
I did. I did.
Right. So, I mean, it's hard maybe for people to see it, because there are people right now who are commercial cleaners and they're like, this sucks. I'd much rather clean healthcare. And then there's people in healthcare like, this sucks. I'd much rather clean,
Yep.
But there's pros and cons to both. There is.
There's
definite pros and cons. The one of the biggest pros, of course, is steady work.
Oh yeah.
Healthcare.
It's never going anywhere.
Never going anywhere. 7 days a week.
Yeah.
Oh, healthcare. How many did you ever get a deficiency-free survey?
Yeah.
Oh, good for you.
3 of them.
Oh, 3 years you were there, you never had a deficiency? All right, that's not really a bad building then. I don't think you can have any. I think I've had nearly every deficiency. Everything they can place on environment, I think I've been tagged on.
Oh, no, it happens. I mean,
I got tagged once because there were Band-Aids on the floor in a bedroom.
Oh.
And when I went,
you're not allowed in bedrooms.
Yeah, well, thank you. That's right. It's very hard to get those keys. That's right. Well, I went to protest because they're like, they found Band-Aids on the floor in the bedroom. I was like, okay, let me go up to the bedroom and look. And sure enough, there are Band-Aids on the floor, but they're unopened. It's as if the nurse, reached in for gauze and Band-Aids, whatever, and dropped them on the floor. And as nurses do, didn't see them hit the floor. I think, you know how horses have blinders on the sides? I think nurses have them right here under their chin. Like they can't see down. That's the reason that there's so many gloves on the floor.
Yes.
If nurses can't see, they have no downward peripheral.
That's a very good possibility.
Yeah. I'm just trying to be polite. I don't. Otherwise, they're just doing it because they don't care. I don't know. I don't want to give them that. So, so I go up and it's Band-Aids that are unused. And so I'm I go to the state and I'm like, these are unused Band-Aids.
Right.
And he goes, yeah, but they've been there all 3 days of survey. I was
Ah,
like, well, they don't give me the keys. He goes, and if they tell you know, he's like, how many excuses are you gonna come up with? I'm like, I don't know, but
I don't know, but I'm gonna find
I'm
something.
gonna find something. I got tagged once because our laundry chemicals, weren't chained to the wall.
Uh-huh.
I didn't know laundry chemicals needed to be chained to
Hmm.
the wall.
Hmm.
I got a tag once because the dumpster, we had an automatic dumpster, like a compressor,
Compactor.
a compactor. Thank
Yep.
you. And it wasn't working, so we got a tag for that. I'm like, that's
Oh,
a maintenance
that's
tag.
maintenance.
Yeah, nope, nope. I gotta. I mean, you just name it. I mean, I I had a DON. The state was there, and the DON said, the state is asking what temperature your mop water is at. And I go, why? She said, because it has to be a certain temperature. I go, no, it doesn't.
No,
She goes, the state's saying it does.
no.
I go, you know what we need to get then? We need to get, those mop buckets that have a cord that you can plug them in? She goes, I've never seen them. I go, because it doesn't
That doesn't
exist.
exist.
Because there is no temperature. I'll tell you what temperature it is. Whatever came out of the faucet that day, which,
Yeah.
by the way, is not hot. I don't know if
No.
you've been in long-term care. Hot
No,
water is a
it's not.
commodity.
Because they test that too to make sure that patients aren't getting injured by hot water. So
Yeah, I saw that as a tag once too. And, maintenance they would have so many rooms that they would do a water temp test. They
yep.
would just go turn the water on and they would temp it, see whatever.
Hmm.
I think that you don't want it to get higher than 110, I think.
Hmm.
And this maintenance guy was having a real problem with this bathroom. The water temp was just sky high. I don't even remember what it was, but it was way higher than it was supposed to be. And so he shut the water off because he couldn't figure out what's wrong. And the resident complained. They turned the water back on, and he got a deficiency for it. The state walks in, the water temp's burning everybody.
Right.
And he had it documented. He had it documented that he shut it off, and the state was like, "Well, you didn't put a lockbox on it, so you prevented people from turning it back
for
on." He's
goodness
like, "You
sakes.
gotta be kidding me!" He's like, "I felt like I did everything possible. I
Yeah,
have a process. I shut it off. Can't win.
No,
Can't
sometimes
win.
you just can't.
So, all right. So, what was your worst experience doing that? Was it staffing? Was it
No. Laundry.
Ooh, laundry. Let's
Personal
talk
laundry.
about laundry.
Personal laundry.
I have not had one nursing home administrator, and I know hundreds of them, by the way.
Mhm.
I know a lot of nursing home administrators. It's my business to know nursing home. I talk to them all the time, and I have never had one of them take me up on this proposition. And here's the proposition. You'll appreciate this. I think we should ban personal socks.
Oh, that sounds fantastic.
Could you imagine? How they have those anti-slip socks?
Yep.
They come in every color. They're
Mhm.
white, brown, tan, pink, blue,
Yeah.
yellow, green, black, whatever color you want, they make them. I tell every nursing home administrator I can get my hands on, I'm like, listen, I would be willing to bet you $100,000 that you would save $100,000 if you banned socks
Mhm.
and just gave everybody the non-slip socks, any color.
Yeah.
And as many as they want. If you want pink, black, purple, green, and red, fine. You want yellow too? Great. Any color you want. Just don't make me waste time and effort on trying to match socks to put a damn label on a sock.
And then one is here, one is still in their room, one is
And you know what?
And they have 27 different kinds, by the way.
Yeah, no question. Yeah. And I've seen, and this makes total sense from a nursing point of view. Heck, it even makes total sense from a resident point of view. And they would never understand how it doesn't make sense to us. But I've seen a resident wearing two socks get one sock dirty or wet. And they just take that one sock off and they throw it in laundry and they put a different sock on.
Right.
Now, to them, they're being completely reasonable.
Yeah.
To us, we're now looking for its mate that never came down.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we only have one sock. Well, the other one's up in the we don't know that.
Right. Mm-hmm.
We don't. Socks.
Yeah. Or they only need one sock. Well, how on earth are we supposed to know that?
That's right. There's a lot of people who only need one sock. That's fair. That's fair. I mean, every Christmas, every Father's Day, and the random birthdays, not many, but the random birthdays, every male resident 6 days later will be complaining that we lost all their socks because they got a packet of socks for their birthday or for Christmas.
And they weren't brought down to be labeled
They
first.
weren't brought down to be labeled, and before you know it.
Yep.
How do you solve the labeling problem in long-term care?
I have no idea.
Oh, there it is.
No idea.
I thought you were going to give me some words of wisdom.
Nope. If I had them for you, I'd give them to you, but I don't.
It is. I've tried everything, by the way. I think I've come up with a couple of things that make sense, but there's nothing that stops it. But whatever I try, if I come up with something that involves any other department, it never works.
No.
I was like,
you have to own it.
Yeah, you have to own it. I was like, you know what? We can put laundry books at each nurse's station. And then when the nurses see a resident's family member coming in with new laundry, I bought mom a sweater, or I'm bringing dad a 6-pack of socks or whatever, they could at least write it down. Well, I mean, I literally bought notebooks for the sake of just buying notebooks because not one person even doodled in them,
Right.
Never would they even. So then I was like, all right, I'm going to put signs in all the resident rooms. Dear family members, please make sure your family's laundry is brought down to laundry. And then I would have to go like between 7 and 3. Like, yeah, they're not here between 7 and 3, but we are.
Right.
It's never worked.
No. Nope.
Nurses all go shopping.
Yeah, I don't know. Everybody wears the same thing. I don't know. I got nothing.
You get donated clothing mixed in with regular clothing.
Right. Yes. And then there's lost and found, and then there's
donations, unlabeled racks.
Yes. Yeah, it's a nightmare.
You go down in the resident room list. The list that you're supposed to be working on is 4 weeks old.
Yeah.
Half the residents aren't there anymore.
Yes. They went home. Well, what do you mean they went home? I have their stuff. They might like this back.
I can't tell you how many times I've ruined clothing, right? Like I get a wool sweater, don't know it's a wool sweater, don't know it's a sweater at all until it comes out of the dryer. You're like, oh,
yeah.
Well, that's not going to fit anyone.
Yeah, no, don't send that to laundry.
And the amount of dirty diapers that come down in laundry.
Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, it still is bad. That's probably one of my biggest pet peeves. It's right up there with, I guess it's right up there with gloves. Gloves are a real big pet peeve of mine. It just doesn't make sense to me.
No.
I just don't understand. There's an administrator in upstate New York in Buffalo. And if I were a lesser man, I'd mention his name to shame him forever, but I won't. But a nursing home administrator who told me, because I was complaining about how much stuff was on the ground, it's just ridiculous. And he said, I'll be honest with you. I tell my nurses when I'm interviewing them that as a perk, as a benefit to them to take a job working for him, they don't have to pick up after themselves. So just leave everything on the floor. Somebody else will get it. I was like, and what do you tell the housekeepers when you're recruiting them? I mean,
yeah,
that's a terrible thing to say.
That is awful.
But that's how he recruits nurses. So just leave it there. Housekeepers, those lowly scumbags, they'll get it for you.
Yeah, no, that's not okay.
That's literally how it sounded to me. And I was like,
I
almost wanted to fist fight him over it.
A little bit, yeah.
I was like, good Lord, the disrespect you have. We're humans,
Right? That's terrible.
People. Anyway, all right, so out of healthcare. So you leave healthcare.
I did.
And is that when you went to where you are now? The Sands?
Nope.
Where'd you go?
I went to Wisconsin Dells.
What is that?
The water park capital of the world.
Wait, I didn't know that there's a water park capital of the world. First of all, I didn't know that was a thing.
It is a thing. Yeah.
And it's in Wisconsin.
It is.
Who knew that?
Yeah.
I have a
Hmm.
good friend in Wisconsin. I think she's director of education for the Wisconsin Healthcare Association. Her name is
Oh,
Pat.
okay.
Wonderful woman.
Gotcha.
Anyway,
Yep, I went there and was the executive housekeeping director down there for a while in a 550 room.
wow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yep. Um, and then I decided maybe I need a break and maybe I want to change things.
It sounds like, if you go back to the trajectory, it sounds like you're constantly getting involved in water parks.
I was a
Yeah, it's
little
like you
bit.
become an expert at testing alkalinity.
Yeah. No. I stayed out of that for when I went down there. That wasn't my thing anymore. That's a whole nother ball game down there.
Yeah, that's
Um,
especially
but
with
then
kiddie pools and boy, we're
yeah,
talking about diapers in water. Woo,
yeah. Ugh.
hello, hey now.
Um, but then I went and I decided that maybe I needed a change and maybe I wanted out of housekeeping and cleaning for a minute. I actually ran a retail store for 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah. Um, and then I decided, oh no, I hate this. Um, it was absolutely awful.
What was
Um,
awful about it? Tell me it was the customers. Was
it
it the
was,
customer?
yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I hear
Yep,
that.
it
I
was.
hear that.
Um, and and I'm good at sales. I hate it. Um, I'm good at it, but I don't like it.
I need somebody to be working with me in sales. Why don't you come on to the good side? Come sell me.
I'm good at it, don't like it.
It's across it. See, I sell housekeeping education. See,
Uh-huh.
so it's right up your alley.
So yeah, I'd be all right. But then so that's how I ended up here.
And how long have you been there?
I will be here 5 years next month.
5 years. And
Yep.
this is
Sand
the
Valley
the
Golf Resort. Yep.
premier golf resort.
Yep.
And do you guys have any like pro golf there or anything like that?
No, they're all links courses.
Oh.
All
Well,
walking.
I
Yep.
went on the website. It looks amazing. It looks like
It is.
such a great place to.
Yep.
You know what? When a place looks great to hang out in,
Mm-hmm.
it's got to be a great place to work.
It is. Yeah.
There's a couple of places that I know of that, as a guest, you just love it. One's
Mhm.
called the Woodstock Inn in Vermont.
Mm-hmm.
It is such a great place to stay at and hang out in the living spaces. Like they have a big fireplace and library and
Yep.
game room and stuff. And it's packed. People love that place. And I just think, man, it's just got to be so great
Yeah.
to work there. Although they don't have any elevators. Well, they do have, wait a minute. They have an old side and a new side. And the old side doesn't have any elevators. So the housekeepers have, it's it's almost like the size of a double pail.
Yep.
But it's a canvas bag, and that's what they use as their housekeeping caddy. It's like this
Gotcha.
canvas bag. It's a cute little
Yep.
thing. Yeah, because they can't bring they can't bring carts up there or anything like that.
Right. Yep.
The old part. There's another place in Maine called the Samoset Resort, and it's a lot like yours. It's a lot like Sand Valley, where it's a golf course resort. They have a bar, restaurant,
Mm-hmm.
and it is it's rare to find a hotel that you enjoy hanging out in the lobby.
Yeah.
But if you find one,
Mm-hmm.
it's probably a great place to work.
Yeah. Yeah. We've got check in, and then there's a bar right there. It's not it's 30 feet. It's not far.
Yeah. It's a happening place. It's very very attractive. Like, you know where I'm going.
Yeah, exactly.
Drop my bags and come back here.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's super fun. So you've been there all through COVID and everything.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
Oh.
Have been.
Dun, dun. I was at a hotel maybe in the beginning of 21,
Mm-hmm.
and they had started to use these stickers that they put on the door, and it would be between the door jamb and the door, and it would say this room was disinfected, but it would be a sticker.
Okay.
And so now you had
seen
sticker residue on the door frame.
Right.
I'm like, all right,
Uh-huh.
I
Yep.
see everything from the eyes of a housekeeper. I'm like, well, this sucks.
Yep.
Who's going to
Uh-huh.
clean this?
Yeah. Who's getting that off there?
Because, my mom tells this great story. My mom tells a story of when she got her first refrigerator. So she owns the house, furnishes it.
Mhm.
She's able to buy her first refrigerator, and there was something on it. She couldn't get it off, so she took a steel wool pad
Oh no.
and ruined the face of it. She's like, to this day, she's 75. She's like, it was my biggest regret. Like, that's your biggest regret. But you can just imagine. That's literally how I would be with these door jams. I'm like, how am I getting this off? And
I
it would
don't know
start
the
out
glue
with a
gun's gonna cut
washcloth,
it.
and then it would go to a sponge, and maybe a green side sponge, and
Yeah.
then maybe a scraper. And before you know it, I'd be calling maintenance because the paint would be gone.
Right. Yeah, because you'd be scrubbing on it so long and hard that it just takes paint right off.
Exactly.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Exactly. I've done that a lot, though. I got to tell you, in long-term care, because there's always that rub or that line between, is it a maintenance issue or a housekeeping issue?
Uh-huh.
And sometimes that line is very fine. Like,
It
you're not
is.
sure. Like, there are some rooms that, they're like, it looks dirty. It really needs to be painted.
Right. Mhm.
Right. It
Yep.
doesn't. It's not that we've done all we can.
Yeah. Mhm.
It's time to paint the room.
Yeah.
But I've gotten so much pushback, because there's always a fine line between, is
Mhm.
it maintenance having to go paint or housekeepers should do a better job cleaning,
Right.
that we've just gone into rooms and gotten stains off of walls at the expense of taking all the paint.
Right.
And they'd be like, well,
Uh,
like, what happened in here? We got the stain off.
we got the dirt off. I don't know.
But, there's no paint there anymore.
Right.
It's
Stain's gone.
It's a divot in the sheetrock.
Yeah. There was color there now, but it's gone.
I was going to say, like, I shouldn't be starting anything with maintenance, but I was working in this building where the maintenance people were doing their own floors, like they're like, oh, we could put in our own floor. So they're putting down the VTC tile, the little 9x9 tile.
Yep.
And in each one of the rooms that they were doing, there was like this one tile that was just completely off color. It was just random. And I'd be like, what is that? What is that? And they said proudly, oh, well, it's our signature. We turn one tile over, upside down. Your signature? What?
What are you doing?
Maintenance. Yeah. Now forever the floor will look terrible.
Uh-huh.
It's like they're like 7-year-olds who find a piece of concrete, like a sidewalk, and they write their name in it.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Bob was here. All right, Bob.
Yeah. Well, hi. Who does that?
Who does it? I'll tell you who does it. Bob.
Bob does it.
Whoever Bob is the guy who does it. Good Lord. So how was COVID for you guys over there?
We had our ups and downs, just like everywhere. It wasn't terrible here because we're small. But we made it through. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The area itself was relatively okay. But we didn't stop a whole lot. So we maintained business. So
that's good.
Yeah. We scaled things back, of course. And but yeah, we were still able to be open.
Did you guys have to, like, I know a lot of hotels that opened up their doors to homeless people and became like a center for that. Did you guys do any of that stuff?
Nope, because we were still open for golf because everything was outside. So
that's so good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's so good because so many hotels really went through a challenging time.
Right.
Mm-hmm. In retrospect, you're looking at the hotels and they're, some of them are damn near uninhabitable at this point.
Right. Yep.
Because they've been so run down and, the payer source was the government. So the people who were staying there weren't paying. And so almost like the level of respect.
Mm-hmm.
Amanda has some advice for us, I think. Do you see this little note here? Our hospital would provide all linen to avoid this. I wonder if, so at a hospital, so I agree. At a hospital, you provide all the linen and the personal laundry is only Johnny's, like a patient gown or patient pants or whatever. But in long-term care, you bring all your clothes from home.
Right.
And some people take that literally, and they take all of their clothes.
All of them. Yes.
And they have
not
60
6
outfits.
days worth. All of them.
All of them.
Yes.
Half of them don't fit.
Yeah.
And that's what we're talking about. And then she says, do rounding, check departments, bags. Director is liable for losses items, including leaving diapers in the linen. Listen, you have my vote there, Amanda. But in my opinion, and what's going back to our healthcare days, Shannon. But let me turn off the notes here. Thank you, Amanda, for chiming in though. When I was working as a facility director, I started to collect diapers and just bring them to whoever's office. Like, this is from unit 3. This is from unit 4. This is from unit 5. And at first, everybody was very nice, very helpful. I'll take care of it. Mm-hmm. And then after the 3rd day, they're like, stop bringing it to me. All right. That's disgusting. And I'd be like, well, you should be in laundry if you think it's disgusting up here.
Right.
At least I have it in a bag.
Then do something about it.
Yeah. Never. I've never had a single facility do anything about it.
Yeah.
Never.
No.
And again, I'm involved in hundreds.
Yeah. No, they won't.
Well, I would also say to in their defense, it's really a hard problem to fix unless you're going to be over the shoulder of every nursing aide and every nurse in every area of every. That's really, really hard.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So, I do like the idea of some accountability. I have found dirty diapers in resident room sinks. I've seen them
for sure
in dining rooms. I've seen them on windowsills. I've seen them on bedside tables. I've seen them in trash cans, out of trash cans, beside trash cans, under trash cans, on top of trash cans. Shower rooms, nurses, you name the place, wherever they can be, they have been. And and in housekeeping. Again, I'm not telling you anything you don't know. 75% of a business's appearance is based on or reputation is based on the way they look.
Yes.
Based on appearance. Of that 75%, we only really have in charge of about 10%.
Mm-hmm.
The other 65% is how residents, employees, family members leave the place.
Yeah.
Unless you're going to assign a housekeeper to every nurse, every guest, every resident, there has to be somebody. I almost said his name. Whatever your name is, you're given no fighting chance. We're not having a fighting chance.
I know.
That's all we want is a fighting chance. Wouldn't it be great if you cleaned the hotel and then you came back tomorrow and it was still clean?
Well, that'd be an ideal concept.
Ooh. Walt Disney paid attention. Like he would sit down and he'd watch his guests at the parks, and he would map out how long they would hold a piece of trash before they dropped it on the ground. And I think it was something like 18 feet.
Oh.
And so now he has a trash can every 18 feet in Walt Disney World. There's a trash can.
Huh.
Yeah. And have you been to Walt Disney World?
I have.
Okay. So you know that where the food court is, like there's all these restaurants, like these little kiosks, whatever. There's a trash can every 5 feet right in the center.
Yep.
And there's not a piece of trash on the ground anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you give us a place to put it, we'll put it there.
We'll put it there.
Unless you work for this guy and you're encouraged to just throw it on the ground.
Unless you're told it's okay.
Unless you're told, Oh, so what's next for you? This is where you're going to stay for the rest of whatever?
Yeah. Uh-huh. That's the plan.
Good. It looks like a really fun place to work. It looks like a really great place to work.
Yeah, it is. Mm-hmm.
and you have such a unique, diverse background. It's almost like it'd be challenging to surprise you. You know what it's like
Yeah.
now? It's almost like you're now Shar,
Yeah, a little
right?
bit.
Like you've come all that you've learned, you've gone through it all,
Yep.
and now where somebody new comes in, somebody green, somebody who hasn't had a lot of experience,
Mm-hmm.
they're probably looking at you like, holy cow, like she
Yeah.
just knows how to handle herself on everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
So great. What a great
Yep.
transformation.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited about it, actually.
You should be. You
So
should be very
yeah.
proud of yourself. It's
Yeah.
really impressive. Do you know how many people join this field and choose to stay in it, but don't choose to better themselves, don't choose to rise through the ranks, don't choose to take on more responsibility? I'll tell you the
Um,
answer is more than not, right? There's about
yeah,
90-10.
probably.
Only about 10% of us
Mm-hmm.
even consider being in charge.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's really even less than that, around 3% that are ever even successful at it.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
good for you. Really good job. Really impressive.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It's why I wanted to have you on the show. I really just wanted to learn all about it. I wanted to hear the whole story. You said that you went back to school
I did.
and you went for hospitality.
Mm-hmm.
And this is years after you've already worked in hospitality.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So would you, there's always this question of should you go to college right out of high school or should you get work experience?
Mm-hmm.
What would you say to that, being that you went kind of both ways?
Well, I know,
Well,
but and my child watching this should
oh,
probably do as I
ear muffet.
say, not as I do.
Yeah, ear muffet. That's good.
Um, but it's hard to say. In my experience, it worked out better for me that I did the work first and
Mm-hmm.
did the education later. It was
Why though?
easier for me because I had the experience behind me and I knew what they were talking about in school, and I already
Mm-hmm.
had that work education in my background.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I did the same thing as I alluded to. I didn't even graduate high school, and I totally see how it benefits both sides. Because on
Mm-hmm.
one side, I know people who right now are going to college and they haven't really had any work experience at all, but the for some jobs, and it's not even the skill level of the job, it's the competitiveness.
Yep.
What's weird is, there's this great idea that there's a great resignation going on,
Mm-hmm.
and that we're more short staffed than we've ever been in our entire existence. It's
Yep.
not true for me, by the way. I've been short staffed my entire career. I've
Yeah, me too.
always struggled.
Me too.
Always. It's no different now than it was 10 years ago. There's no right. So for us, in housekeeping, we've been dealing with this all the time. But I know some kids, 18, 19, 20, 25, who are, killing themselves to get jobs. They're applying everywhere. They're
Mm-hmm.
doing interviews. They're practice interviews. They're not like, hey, can't wait to sit home this summer. I don't know a single kid can't wait to sit home this summer.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody wants to work, and they want to make a lot of money. They are expecting a lot,
Yeah, they want some money.
Yeah, of course, and God bless them. I think, first of all, let me just put a shout out there for all the housekeepers. We're not getting paid enough.
No, agreed.
So let's stop that BS. All right,
Yeah,
so that's my public
agreed.
service announcement. But other than that, but I don't think there's been a great resignation. I think there's just been a great shift. A lot of people are moving to, it's so easy to drive an Uber now and to make a living doing that. It's Amazon is hiring like a mad, crazy people.
Yeah.
Like so many people
Absolutely.
work for Amazon now. So many people work for delivery.
Yep.
Because there's so much, there's a guy in my town right by me who just started his own business, and all he does is deliver for Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's a subcontractor for Amazon.
Yep.
So that I don't think that there's people staying home. Maybe there's some of that, but I don't think there's, to my experience, it doesn't seem like there's as much as that is what people seem to be. Everyone's just staying home on unemployment. I don't see it.
I don't know that they're staying home on unemployment. I think they're just
doing something else and able to make money.
Yep.
You can make money selling Matchbox cars on eBay and pay want to sell Matchbox cars on eBay if you enjoy Matchbox cars and eBay.
Right.
Right. That maybe wasn't a job 20 years ago, but it is now.
Yeah.
This has been super fun.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for doing this with me. I really appreciate it. And I am positive by telling your story, other people are going, okay, all right, maybe this map is a map I can follow too. So I really appreciate that. Thank you for doing it for me. I really appreciate it. Don't go anywhere, but we are ending the show. That's it. The Housekeepers Podcast. It has been brought to you by the Housekeeping Leadership Academy. If you are in healthcare, senior care, assisted living, long-term care, and you're a housekeeping manager, and you're looking for a leg up, consider the Housekeeping Leadership Academy. Go to housekeepingleadershipacademy.com for the very best training in housekeeping management. Otherwise, for Shannon Mickschl, Shannon and me. No, say it again. Is it
Mickschl?
Mickschl. Mickschl.